Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Of course, the focus for our conversation starting now is on recapitalization deadline for stockbroking firms. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission gave an extension of deadline for stockbroking firms to recapitalize in December last year, extended it by 9 months to September 30. And so as of now, only 128 stockbroking firms out of the 220 active and registered stockbroking firms have met the capital requirement as of July. Some stockbroking firms have begun moves to reclassify their business. And let's talk about the capital requirement for brokers and dealers. Now, brokers' new capital requirement is 200 million naira. It's up from 40 million naira, while dealers' new capital requirement increased from 30 million to 100 million naira. How is all of this affecting the activities of brokers at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and what are the issues that they are having with regards recapitalizing ahead of the September 30 deadline? Joining me now on the program to talk about this is the Managing Director, GTI Securities, Amos Aledare.
Thank you.
Good morning to you, and thank you so much for coming in on the program. Apologies for not being able to get that name, a tongue twister for me.
Thank you very much, Harriet.
Well, let's start by getting your perspectives on latest developments, on the capital markets. There's been a number of rules and regulations and policies, restructuring, if you'd like to say, for, the capital market. Yeah,
I must say that the rules and policies, they are all for the good of the market. If you look at the market up till now, before now, there have been a lot of challenges in the market, poor broker capabilities, weak corporate governance, weak capital base, which has not made operators in the market to be able to compete at the global space. And so all of these regulations are for the benefit of the market. Now, coming to the challenges with the capitalization, you will see that the extension from December 2014 to September 2015 has actually not been in the best interest of so many operators. Come to think of it, people will think that the extension will give them a leeway. The extension will give them time to recapitalize. But
they were the ones who actually called for the extension.
Yes, but the bearish capital market has almost made nonsense of that extension as we speak right now. As at December 31st, the NSO share index was at 34,600. As at Friday, it was at 29,900. That is a 14% drop. And so, if you look at the composition of capital base of stockbroking firms, SEC has specified that minimum of 60% should be in liquid assets. And so a lot of stockbroking firms have their liquid assets in quoted securities. And they keep depreciating by the day. So by the time you are looking at their shareholders' funds, gradually they have been eroded. So meaning that as at 31st December, a lot of firms will have actually even made it more than what we are having today.
But then, according to what we get, the reports that we have, about 128 stockbroking firms have met the capital requirement as of July, and that's more than half of the number of 220 active and registered stockbrokers. So somehow or the other, it seems as if they are making headway.
But I'm afraid that by the time we come to September this year, that figure may even go down further than what you have. And the reason is not far-fetched. The capital base of most firms are being eroded on a daily basis based on the bearishness we are seeing in the market right now. And so that is going to push so many operators either to drop from being a broker-dealer to just a broker alone, or to a dealer alone, or to possibly reclassify as a sub-broker.
So in the reclassification, are we going to see mergers, for instance?
Yes, you're going to see some mergers, M&As, but a lot of them are going to stand alone and, transform to a sub-broker. And because that will enable you to still maintain your structure, you keep your clients, you keep trading, but in a regulated manner. The only thing is that by becoming a sub-broker, you can no longer be a member of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, but you can now be like an agent to big firms. For example, in GTI, we have a platform. GTI Trading Floor is the first trading floor in Africa. And it was for purposes like this that the trading floor was established to accommodate, so that, see, financial inclusion is very important. Firms don't have to drop out because of these policies, but yet they can retain their clients, they can reduce regulatory hazards, and be a sub-broker and still keep on operating.
But being a sub-broker also means that you might have to offload in terms of staff. You might not need as many people anymore working with you. And so we're going to have more people on the street, jobless, and increasing the unemployment rate that we have already.
Fine. See, if you look at the MOS and capitalization, there are pros and cons. But I still believe that the benefits far outweighs the disadvantages. For example, if you look at it, it is going to further deepen and strengthen the market towards global status. It is going to lead to higher broker capabilities. You are going to see more professional local players. You are going to see the participation of more global players. You are going to see more sophisticated products. You are going to see cost of capital formation. Don't forget that the whole essence of capital market is about capital formation. It's about investment mobilization. It's about wealth creation. So you are going to see there is going to be a reduction in the cost of all of these. You are going to see an improved corporate governance. You are going to see more players.
Are we going to see Are we going to see improved handling of customers' accounts?
You are going to see improved handling. If you look at the MOS, the specification. In fact, every firm is expected to have what they call a client service desk, which before now has not been so.
A client service desk.
Client service desk, yes. So you are going to see improvement in all of that. So that is why I said, if you look at the MOS and the capitalization thing, the benefit far outweighs the disadvantages.
So, but what is the likely impact of not meeting this deadline? All the pros you've mentioned, or rather the advantages of having this recapitalization, seem to be in good standing.
Yeah.
But then, in the eventuality that they're not able to meet this recapitalization deadline.
In the eventuality that you cannot meet it, the only option left for you is just to reclassify and be a sub-broker. You don't have to exit the market. And let me give you an example. See, this sub-broker initiative started in India in 1992. And today, the brokerage industry in India is a success story because of the financial inclusion. So you don't necessarily have to drop out. As the last option, you could transform to be a sub-broker and be operating and serve as an agent to a bigger firm. So you don't have to drop out at all.
But what options do you think capital market operators or market operators have? Those who, like we already talked about, the mergers and...
The options are one.
M&A.
If you are strong enough, you could inject cash. You could inject stocks. Otherwise, you should be considering the options of M&A, business combinations, or reclassification. Those are the options. It is when you are not meeting up with any of these options, then you will have to
Let's talk a
exit.
little bit more about that reclassification.
Yeah.
Could you expatiate on it a bit?
Okay. Right now, we have what we call broker-dealers, and they're expected to have 300 million capital.
Yes.
For those that cannot meet, they could come down a bit and become just brokers alone, meaning that those are people who charge commission, who charge fees, just by buying and selling for clients, brokers alone. The requirement for that is just 200 million. If you still cannot meet, you can be a dealer. And these are firms that are just trading, buying and selling securities on their own accounts. And so the requirement for that is just 100 million. So if you still cannot meet with being a dealer alone, then you can reclassify again to be a sub-broker.
But how would this help them? Because you see, they've operated for so long as broker-dealer firms, and that's basically what they know. So how is this really going to help their business? It's going to make them feel like second fiddle.
Well, you may take it that way, but the most important thing is that it will still help them to retain all their clients and still continue to trade for their clients.
What if the clients now decide that since you're no longer a stockbroker, a broker-dealer firm, I'd rather go to all the big names where I feel, they have more of what it takes to keep my business, even though I know you maintained my accounts very well for the last couple of years, but I feel that, because you were not able to meet this recapitalization, that was given by the commission, let me move my business.
If investors have to move their business, don't forget it's a capital market. And so you cannot stop them. But the thing is as a sub-broker, if the level of your quality service is good, you will still be able to maintain and keep your clients because you'll be able to give personalized service.
So what happens now? What happens now if there's a change in the market? Yes, the market is bearish. Yesterday finished almost 3% off at 29,909.44. What happens if there's a turnaround at the market just before that deadline comes up?
If there's a turnaround and the market moves up, and so many people are now able to meet up with the capitalization, don't forget there's still another aspect, which is the MOS. It's even tougher. The MOS thing is even tougher. If you look at the broad areas of MOS, manpower and equipment, if you talk of effective processes, you are talking of corporate governance, you are talking of globalization, you are talking of technology. The conditions there are so stringent that, meeting up with SEC's capitalization is just one leg. A firm might meet up with that and still have challenges meeting up with the MOS of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Because the standards set by the Nigerian Stock Exchange, they call it minimum, but yet so many operators might not be able to meet up with this. And so, as long as you cannot meet up with this, you have an option either to reclassify or exit the market in an orderly manner.
Amos, you keep referring to the reclassification or doing the M&A, but going forward, looking at the deadline, which is in another couple of weeks, it's not so far off anymore. It's about a month and a couple of weeks, yes. But looking at that deadline, are you confident that we are actually, that's the market now, the operators are actually going to get it right?
I'm very confident the market will get it right. I'm very confident about that. See, at the end of the day, although, see, it's going to lead to the emergence of fewer firms, but stronger firms with capacity to do global transactions. And that's the truth of the matter.
And that's what exactly we need.
Yes,
Amos
that's what we need.
Alidare, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning and sharing your perspectives with us.
Thank you very much.
Of course, we'll keep our eye on the market as well, because the market is open for trade. Yesterday finished 2.59% south, down below the 30,000 psychological line. But we've been talking to the Managing Director, GTI Securities, Amos Alidare, who's been talking about the recapitalization of stockbroking firms and, of course, tied it into the bearish sentiment we've noticed at the market in the last couple of trading sessions. Business Morning continues in just a moment. Please join us again.